Hello everyone, welcome to another group reading. Today I am working on Stray Kids, and this video is going to be divided into 3 questions, with question number 1 being the current energy. Question number 2 is going to have 2 parts, which will be the group predictions for this year and then the individual career predictions. And then lastly, the third question will be just any advice or healing messages for the group. In the description below, I will have the timestamp so you can jump around. And if not, I will just start with the group's current energy. Now, let's see. So, how is Stray Kids doing right now? Wait. So we have the Page of Swords, and I'm going to leave it sideways. We have the 5 of Pentacles upright and the World upright. Interesting. Now, I'm saying it that way because I don't really know what to think of the cards that they have. So when a card comes out sideways, for me, it automatically means a blockage. Now, when it's for example, when you have a card that is reversed, you can think, oh, this energy has to be internalized to the individual. Or you can think it's the opposite meaning of this card. Or you can even think of it as this person has not reached the energy that this card embodies. For example, if you have a court card reverse. However, to me, when a card is sideways, it automatically means that this is a blockage in the group's energy in this case. So the Page of Swords usually talks about messages. All pages are the beginning of something, the start of a new chapter, and all the pages are supposed to kind of symbolize maybe the spark or something, or the seed that is about to bear fruit later on. Is something that is about to take off, something that is about to start. And you can even say it's baby energy, in a sense of someone that is barely growing and embodying a certain energy. So the other thing that I was going to point out though is that Swords talks about communication or intellect or mind. And in this case, it kind of feels like the blockage that the group has is that they're waiting for a message. They are waiting for something to happen, or they're waiting to get the green light, or they're waiting for communication to go through. So I wonder, I was gonna say, I wonder what's happening, or I was about to give different examples of what this could be, but as soon as I said I wonder, I actually got right away what the issue is. So it seems like the group may be negotiating with a company and they are waiting for an answer. They're waiting for the company's response to their demands and their negotiations, or their desires or something. It's I don't know if the group already negotiated with the company and it's kind of okay, we're waiting for the things that we talked about to come true, or if they're waiting for approval and for the company's answer to know where everyone stands, if that makes sense. So I don't really know what's going on here, but currently it seems like the group is waiting to get communication, and I think it's with the company in regards to their promotions, to their group activities, individual activities, and whatever contract they may have or agreement they may have with the company. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because in the middle of the reading, we have the 5 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Pentacles represents someone that feels like they've been left out in the cold. They have to fend for themselves. They lost resources, or they're kind of being kicked out somehow or neglected. And seeing this makes me think that the group currently feels like they have to do things on their own. They have to push for things to happen, or they may feel like the company has left them out to fend for themselves and work on their own. So I wonder what the group wants to do that they don't really feel backed by the company somehow. So I don't know what's going on with JYP. The Stray Kids feels kind of left out. I don't know. Or maybe there's things that they want to do, but the company's yeah, sure. So do these other things that I'm telling you to do. So maybe the group feels like their voice is not being heard, or they feel like they're talking to a wall, or they feel like their ideas are not going through somehow. So there's a chance that the group doesn't feel too content or happy with the company. Now, the thing that's throwing me off here is the World. The World talks about the end of a cycle, the end of a journey. It is the last card in the Major Arcana with, number 21. And it's supposed to represent the end of the journey of the Fool, which is the first card of the Major Arcana. So it's kind of supposed to show that the sense of completion and fulfillment. And I don't know how this card here, I don't know how this card works when we're talking about how unsatisfied the group is. So I'm kind of like, this is interesting because I think the energy is clashing a little bit. Now, the only explanation I can think as to why the world is here, the world does represent Saturn energy, and Saturn is a planet that will test us. It is a planet that will put us in situations that are very challenging to us as individuals. It's like we're facing our baggage, or we're facing our triggers and our fears. And it's not necessarily because Saturn is like a bad planet or anything. It is a planet that is very rewarding, but you kind of have to earn it, right? You have to earn those rewards. And the way that Saturn works is that it puts you in a situation, it puts you boundaries and limitations. And you can do a couple of things with this test, if you want to put it that way. You can either break free from those limitations, and these limitations can come in different forms, and like your way of thinking, it can be within different areas of your life, or all of a sudden things just kind of don't work out, and that's how you're getting these limitations, right? So you can break free, and it's kind of like if you have a limiting belief, you work through that and like start to change your way of thinking. Or if it's in regards to different areas of your life, then all of a sudden you kind of do like a 180 and just shift your way of doing things. And the other way that Saturn can, like, you can work with this Saturn energy of limitations and boundaries is that you can also work within those limitations and those boundaries. So it's kind of like, based on the tools that I have, as scarce as it may look or feel, what can I do with them to make them work in my favor? So what I'm getting at here, basically, currently, the group could be tested by fate, destiny, or the world, or the universe. And this test is simply like, with the little that you have, what can you make with it? How can you work with it? How can you expand upon it? How can you make this, as little as it may seem of value, or as little as these resources may feel to you, how can you make them work in your favor? And I think currently that's what the group is going through. It's like, even if they're not really happy with what they have, because they feel that they have to fend for themselves and kind of do everything on their own and work on their own, as they're waiting for a response or some sort of communication with higher ups or with their company, they're trying to stay quite positive about the situation that they're in, and they're just working with what they have and making the best of it. That's the best way I can describe this energy. And I think that's what they're supposed to be doing with the world card. It's kind of like, yeah, that's the whole point right now. That's the whole test. Just work with what you have and make the best of it. Okay. Now let's go on to the second question and ask what is in store for Straight Kids this 2024. We have New Moon in Aries with It's Time to Take Action. And I want one more card. Or maybe two, I guess that works too. We have North Node with Step Out of Your Comfort Zone. And we have New Moon in Aquarius. We have New Moon in Capricorn with Your Hard Work is Paying Off. So, I wonder why I said Aquarius. Anyway. So they have a ram and they have a goat. That makes me think that this year for the group, they're going to be super stubborn about their work. And the way that they're being stubborn is that they're pushing forward to succeed in their career. Because Aries is a very impulsive card. It's an energy, or it's a sign of someone that they have a goal in mind and they just take action to achieve it and to complete it. There's no impossibles for an Aries, I'll tell you that. Because in Aries, they're just kind of working on instinct constantly, all the time. So there's no impossibles for them because they're just going with the flow usually. And then when we combine that with Capricorn, you have an energy of someone that plans ahead, works very hard in their career usually. Capricorns usually focus on, they're very goal orientated, so many of them kind of just project that energy into their work, in their career, or whatever goal they have in mind. Like Capricorns are the type that work very, very hard to achieve their goals, and they don't mind the sacrifices that they have to make to achieve a goal. So if we combine this energy with new moon in Aries and a new moon in Capricorn, it feels like this year the group is going to, what is it called? They're going to start something new, and this new thing that they're trying is their approach to their goals and their career. They do have 2 cardinal signs, and these cardinal signs kind of show that they're going to initiate change in their career. They're going to be the first ones starting something new and pushing for something new that will benefit them as a group. And the reason why they're doing this is that they have stepped out of your comfort zone with a North Node. It's weird to say this, but I'm going to say it because they have the World card. It feels like the group is working to reach their destiny, or they're working somehow that in a way that will favor them. Like, I don't know, it feels like there's a lesson that the group has to go through, and that lesson was to kind of break free somehow. And the thing that they're breaking free from is not necessarily the company as much as it is their limiting beliefs. Like, they were holding themselves back a lot for whatever reason, and now they're kind of breaking free from that mentality, which will allow them to have the courage to take action in a way that will benefit or will push for the success of their career. That's the best way I can describe the cards right in front of me. If anything, I kind of want to make fun of Stray Kids and be like, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. So this year they're going to be super powered and super pumped to achieve their goals. Now, will they succeed? I don't know if they will. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I don't know if they even know what it is that they want. The only thing I know with these cards in front of me is that this year for the group's career, they're going to push for change, and they're going to push for their self-interest as a group. So that's what I'm telling you. I don't know if they will succeed because I don't know if they all want the same thing. I don't know if they will all be able to kind of coordinate themselves to work together. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. But whatever change that they're pushing forward is going to be part of their journey as a group. Like, it's something that they have to go through. With the world is kind of like a checkpoint, something that it's necessary for them to go through so like that they have growth. And North Node does talk about our destiny. It talks about like what we came here to do. It could be like our life mission or life purpose. So that's why I'm telling you that they're kind of like following the path of destiny or following their fate as a group. Whatever that could mean. Now let's go into the second part, which is the individual career predictions, and I will go in age order. What are the predictions for Bangshan's career? So we have introvert with privacy, separation, and online community. This year for Bangshan, he is going to be focusing on just kind of staying down low or kind of like chilling on his own. It feels like whatever he's going to work on like individually for his career, he may just push forward for live streaming. I know it says introvert, so you may think, why will an introvert will want to even deal with people even if it's online? Well, I'm going to tell you this. I think he feels more comfortable. Well, I can't actually speak for him, so I don't know. But maybe he feels more comfortable doing like the live streams where he connects with fans because he may feel like he can be himself. Maybe he feels like he can vent and rant, or maybe he feels like he can speak with people in a more comfortable way for him, in a way where he feels like he actually is reaching out to people and he's actually having a conversation rather than just performing. But yeah, they feel like this year he's going to be focusing a lot on checking what people are saying. He's going to keep his eyes out to make sure that he's well informed about how the fandom feels and how the group is doing, or how the group is being perceived. And also how he's been perceived, since we're talking about individual career stuff, right? With the privacy and separate, I do wonder if this year he's going to be a bit more reserved, or he's going to keep to himself a bit more. And I don't think this is necessarily going to intervene with anything group related, as much as he's just going to take a little bit more time for himself so he can focus in him. With him, there might be a chance that he may want to be on his own, or be, how should I put it, with his own technology, so like that he can actually have some time for himself and not be distracted with the group. So maybe he gets a lot of energy from the group, or maybe they talk a lot or fool around when they're all together. So maybe he's like, okay, I need to finally like separate myself somehow, and technology could be the way that everyone can finally like calm down. I do not know. Maybe that's how it works with the group. No, but the other thing I was going to mention is parallel playing. So maybe, you know, parallel playing is when you have kids that are doing the same activity right next to each other, and that's how they're playing, or that's how they're getting along. And I think with Bangchan, maybe this year, one of the things that he's going to do is that he's going to just, maybe even from a distance, do the same thing as other people, as his way of showing that he is spending time with them and that he cares for them. How is that connected to his career? Maybe these people could be his fans. It's like, from a distance, we're all doing the same thing, and this is how we are showing a sense of closeness, if that makes sense. Anyway, to the next person. So let's see, what are the predictions for Lino's career? We have Curse and real estate. Okay. I'm gonna say the first thing that came to my mind, which is, if he's finding a new place so he can move in, he's going to feel cursed in the sense that he can't find a good one. Or it's going to take him a lot of time and effort to find a good place for him that matches what he wants and what he desires, and it's in the location that he wants, and he's surrounded by the people that will not bother him, or the people that, you know, like not having crazy neighbors or something. Now, I don't know why that came up, but, or like how is that connected to his career, but that could be connected to his year. Maybe he wants to move out, and he's just finding it very challenging to find a good place. Now, with a curse in real estate, funnily enough, usually when real estate comes up, I think of investments. I think of someone doing business. So maybe this 2024, he wants to get into his investments, either go through a challenging moment, or he wants to get into that business of like maybe buying land, buying places, or making money somehow outside of like the group activities and his individual like entertainment industry activities. And he may want to start making money in a different field. So then this cursed card could simply symbolize that he's going to go through a super challenging moment, because either things are not working out the way that he expects it, or maybe there's so much knowledge that he has to bring, or maybe he doesn't have enough knowledge, so he has to learn a lot in order to avoid problems, or to avoid getting scammed, or avoid getting in trouble, or avoid issues of any sort. So maybe he wants to invest his money, but he's being a bit hesitant because he's trying to make sure that he has all the information necessary to not make a mistake. So yeah, either this year he's finding a new home and he's struggling because he hasn't found the perfect spot or the perfect place, or he wants to start investing his money in real estate, and he just wants to make sure that he's doing it the right way that will benefit him and not get him in trouble or get him in conflicts that are unnecessary because of his inexperience. Okay, next person. So predictions for Changbin's career. So I'll take the card that is facing up, which is blessings. Well, blessing. So this 2024, his career is going to do very well. He's going to achieve everything that he wants to achieve. All the opportunities that enter his life are going to be beneficial for him, and he's going to be emotionally fulfilled. He's going to, because here we have fulfillment, well-being, and enlightenment. Everything that he experiences this 2024 will benefit him as a person because he will grow from these experiences. Not only will he feel happy and fulfilled and just content in general, but it will help him live his life in such a way that it will improve his positivity and his mentality, and that will allow him to just continue growing as a person. So I don't know what activities he's going to do this year, but I think he's not going to be held back. Not only will he not be feel held back because of this positivity that will allow him to like overcome any sort of fear, but the other thing that I'm getting is that this year he's going to experience something in his career as an individual that will allow him to organize himself and kind of do this internal work where he's going to get his ducks in a line. Like he's going to organize himself, find some sort of alignment as an individual. And the reason why I'm saying that is that as I'm talking, I'm holding like the oracle deck, and I noticed that some of the cards were upside down. So I was going to organize them, and that's why I got this whole idea of like he's going to kind of get his life together and put it in order. Because that's what I was going to do. Also, he's going to feel very lucky this year. He's going to feel super blessed, as in like very grateful that a lot of good things are happening for him this year. Which is good. That's what we'd like to hear. So let's figure out what the predictions for Hyunjin's career. Like, we have Indulgence. Beautiful pink card. This card makes me think of the Three of Cups in tarot, and the Three of Cups is supposed to talk about someone that's going out to drink with friends, someone that is having fun, enjoying their life, someone that is being surrounded by like a group, like a good group of friends, or someone that is surrounded by enjoyment and happiness. And it's a very lighthearted type of card. It's someone that's just having fun, maybe hanging out with friends and having a good time. So this 2024. We have interaction, joy, and friendliness. For Hyunjin, it seems like Hyunjin? It's actually Hyunjin, right? Yeah, Hyun. So for Hyunjin, he is going to be surrounded by a lot of people that care for him, that want the best for him. He's going to have a lot of fun this year. So anything related to his career, he's just going to be surrounded by people that he feels comfortable with, or people that make him very happy, people that make him feel safe and secure. There is also a chance that he's going to be doing a lot of activities that he will find a lot of enjoyment in, and just make a lot of new friends as well. And one of the reasons I feel this is also connected to his career is that his networking is going to improve, or he's going to be connecting with people this year that will be very beneficial for his career, because either they bring him good opportunities or it will help with his reputation. Again, this networking, right? It's like, oh, he made a friend in this. Now he has opened himself a path in this industry or in this project. That kind of idea. It feels like this year he's going to be hanging out with people or surrounding himself with people that will bring him a lot of opportunities and a lot of enjoyment and happiness. So he's going to have a good time this year, basically. Okay, so predictions for Han's career. Like, the card just flew out, which is justice, equality, neutrality, and logic. Okay. So this 2024 for Han, it feels like he is going to go through a period where he is going to have harmony, balance, and stability in his career. And it feels like I'm getting like this divine justice, something divine. So I don't know what's going on there, but it feels like their justice will be served for him. So maybe there's projects that he wanted to do, or there's things that he wanted to do in his career where he's finally going to be able to accomplish them, or finally be able to work on them, or finally he feels like his hard work is paying off. There's this sense of like maybe all the energy that he's putting into something, it does come back rewarded. So let's say he doesn't feel like his hard work is going to waste, basically. That's what I'm getting at. Also, with his justice card, if you see the person and the way that he's sitting, it makes me think of someone that feels pretty content, someone that feels very stable because everything's kind of working out. One of the good things that we can see here, though, is that he is going to be so balanced within himself that when he works, he's going to feel the same, if that makes sense. And by feel the same is like he's not going to be affected or influenced by other people because he's doing well for himself. So he's going to just work as if nothing's wrong. He's going to work as if everything's okay because he is okay. So he's going to be doing well in his job basically because it seems like everything's going well for him. Everything's working for him. Also, if there's a lawsuit for whatever reason, he will probably win the lawsuit. I don't, because I'm thinking of the justice card, and the justice card in tarot could talk about contracts, lawsuits, or anything related to the court and laws. So, if there's any sort of hiccup with the law, it will turn out in his favor. I don't think it's gonna be something big though. Like I don't think there's a big scandal or a very big issue. It's just that if there's something unfair that goes out, he will be able to clear that up this year and everything will be okay. So what are the predictions for Felix's career? 3 cards just came out, which is protest, daydream, and the blind. So the thing that I'm getting here with Felix is that for his career, if there's ever a problem or an issue, he's going to solve it by disassociating himself from it or not allowing it to enter his space or being influenced by those issues. So there might be a lot of arguments surrounding him, not necessarily related to him as much as it's like in his workspace or in his environment. Any fight that goes on, it will bother him enough that he will feel the need to disconnect or detach himself from the situation. Or there is a chance that maybe he feels there's some sense of injustice or something that is not fair, and instead of like jumping in to argue, he will kind of like turn a blind eye and just focus on himself or do something else. Now I'm saying that because the protest card makes me think of someone that is going to be fighting, arguing, trying to either fight for their rights, argue for, or negotiate for something that they want. So maybe even some debates. As I mentioned, arguments. So the protest card makes me think of someone that is like speaking up, right? And sometimes when some confrontations like that happen, it could create issues, of course, right? Because there's a disagreement. So I do feel that when something like that happens, Felix will just kind of do this thing where he's like, you know what? Forget those fights, forget those arguments. Let me go into my wonderful world and kind of start daydreaming. And I don't think there's anything too wrong about his daydreaming. I do feel that if there's something that he has to confront, then he should definitely go through with it because avoiding it or dismissing it could make this problem get a lot bigger than necessary. But I do feel like his daydreaming will allow him to be able to slowly visualize or manifest the type of lifestyle that he wants or the type of career opportunities he would like to be offered or he would like to enter into his life. So he will be manifesting in a very passive way with just visualizing and imagining the world that, not the world, but that lifestyle that he wants. But again, this blind card makes me think that he will want to ignore or he will want to push aside anyone that creates any sort of disturbance in his environment or in his space. So while he's working, he's going to be chilling. And what I mean by like relaxing is that he's going to do his work, going to get his job done, but he's not going to entertain any sort of negativity or arguments. So there might be a lot of conflict or a lot of arguments going on in his working environment, in his working space. What are the career predictions for Sunmin's career? Sunmin? Wait, so 2 cards just fell, and we have imagination and fright. So remember how I talked about limiting beliefs? He will be one of the people that has to work a lot on that. Because the imagination makes me think of someone that thinks with no boundaries or with nothing holding them back, nothing that they're afraid of. And this fright card makes me think that he subconsciously does not believe that his dreams can come true or that he can achieve anything in life because he holds himself back because of these fears and these doubts. Like maybe he thinks some things to be too good to be true, or maybe he thinks that he's just imagining this unrealistic lifestyle when in reality he can make it real. It's just that he himself might be too afraid to take that step. Also, we have card numbers 63 and 62. So they're right next to each other. So I do feel that this year for his career, he will start losing the fear of thinking big and wanting more of life. But he's still in this transition period, so he's going to find it very challenging to actually open up to this way of thinking, this his ability to just dream of what he wants and just go for it, right? There is this sense of like, so you know what I mentioned with Felix, that he will be imagining that type of lifestyle that he wants, and that's his way of manifesting by visualizing his future. Well, with Seung-min, he's going to struggle so much to even do the daydreaming part of it, because I do feel that he likes to set realistic expectations for himself, and sometimes he feels that when he allows his mind to roam freely and imagine, he feels that sometimes he's just doing that. He's just imagining something, and he doesn't realize that he's slowly manifesting the type of future that he wants. You know, imagination is the future. Imagination is what allows us to start, in a way, designing the type of future that we want, or start, in a way, visualizing the possibility of something bigger than what we know. And I do feel that with him, he's afraid of even doing that, and he's going to work towards that. I do feel that he's slowly going to open himself to think bigger and desire more out of life. I do feel that he has kind of stayed a bit stagnant by always doing what he's comfortable doing and always doing what he's been told to do, or always doing what he feels is the realistic thing to do in life. So he may have wanted to avoid disappointments, and because of that he doesn't take the risks, and it has reached a point where he doesn't even allow his mind to think freely or to just imagine. So this frightful card makes me think that subconsciously he holds himself back from thinking big or wanting more out of life. But this year I do feel that he's going to try to break out of that shell and break out of that habit. And even though this may not really show on the surface in his career, this is like internal work that he's doing that will eventually allow him to be a little bit more carefree and a little bit more flexible in his career. So let's go on to the last person, which is IN, and figure out any predictions for his career. So what predictions are they for IN's career? So one card fell. Oh, never mind. Two cards fell. We have Fury and Strategy. I'm getting that when he gets angry, all of a sudden he can get things moving. It's like his anger, may it be because of an injustice or may it be because things are not working out his way, is what kind of fuels him to take action and create change in his life. So there is a chance that when he feels like something doesn't go his way or something is unfair, he starts planning how he can change it so things work in his favor, or changes it so justice is served. Now, I don't really know what could trigger this in him, but I do feel that in his career, he's going to go through a period where if he encounters something that he does not like, that anger will turn into like this passion that will fuel him to try to solve an issue, or that will push him to try to correct things or try to bring balance once again or restore order somehow. So this 2024, I do feel that he's so angry about an outcome, or he's so angry about a situation in his career, that will motivate him or inspire him to start planning and thinking of what's the best course of action to fix the thing that angered him in the first place. So again, if there's an injustice in his life, this year he's going to work very hard to fix it. He's going to work very hard so like that things are so he can take the right actions or do the right thing so like that he's finally seeing things turn in his favor. So now let's go into the third question and ask for any advice or healing messages for stray kids. So the first card that came out is Mutable Moon with Nothing Is Yet Set in Stone. And then 2 cards just flew out. The cards that we have is Fifth Moon with Hold Your Vision and Full Moon in Scorpio with It's Time to Release Negativity. So with the mutable moon that we saw earlier, this kind of shows that the group is going through this transformation or this change that the energy is still very malleable and it's still very flexible, meaning that nothing has yet set in stone. Kind of shows that whatever it is that they want has to be decided first before life can guide them into a certain path or for certain things to actually happen. So what I mean by this is that they haven't fully set in their intentions. They haven't cleared those things up quite yet. And because of that, the energy is still very fluid and very free-flowing, and it hasn't really physically settled down quite yet. And this energy could also be very reassuring if they want change, right? So if the group is actively working towards change, this energy that's saying nothing is yet set on stone is also kind of showing that the worst outcome that they may fear is also not a guarantee, right? So that can be very reassuring for the group. It's like the worst case scenario is a possibility but not a concrete it will happen, right? But also the type of future that they want is also not guaranteed, so that could make them feel fearful or feel a bit like worried. However, the reason why that is not concrete is simply because the group hasn't fully figured out what it is that they want and how they visualize it to be, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but they should definitely be aware of that, so like that they don't get frustrated that things are not going their way or their dreams are not manifesting. It's kind of like the reason why that's not happening is simply because many of them are still trying to figure out what they want to do with themselves and what they even want out of life. So it's normal that this energy hasn't quite settled down or stabilized itself into a foundation quite yet. It's because everything is still up in the planning stages of sorts. Now the other card that I had is Hold Your Vision. So there is, fixed energy talks about people that are principled, people that stick to their values, and they're not shaken by anything or influenced by anyone. And fixed energy is also extremely stubborn. Scorpio is a fixed sign, by the way. I'm saying that because we're about to talk about it later. So this kind of shows that whatever, the best advice for stray kids is whatever it is that they want to do, this path that is motivating the group to work for change is like, do not forget why you're doing this and do not forget where you're going. So like that, you don't give up on this goal or on this mission. There is a sense of like, they will encounter a lot of unknowns and a lot of uncertainty as well as challenges that they will have to power through. They will have to overcome them. They will have to work through them somehow. Therefore, they have to have a very clear vision of maybe not what they're doing, but why they're doing it. So like that they don't lose focus and they also don't lose themselves. That's why hold your vision. So also they don't give up, because it's not going to be easy. So if they have a very clear idea of why they're doing this, even if they don't know how things are going to turn out and maybe they don't even know how to approach this, at least they will have something to hold on to. And it's their intentions, basically. Lastly, the advice that we have here is time to release negativity with this full moon in Scorpio. So it's kind of like the energy that has been slowly accumulating into this one point. And because full moons talk about like you reach the peak energy of something, right? Like the energy is at full force And Scorpio is a sign of transformation. It's ruled by Pluto or traditionally by Mars. And both of those planets can be quite challenging and quite harsh. Scorpio is one that does a complete transformation from the inside out. And those transformations are like a death and rebirth. It's a phoenix moment. And this card is kind of talking about like shedding old skin or getting rid of the old and bringing in the new. And the old could be limiting beliefs or negativity, and bringing in the new is like this positivity that allows them to think freely and be open-minded, as well as being free of anything that holds them back. And negativity could be one of the things that hold them back. And how can this negativity manifest? It could be through fears, through worries, and doubts. And I do feel that since it's Scorpio energy, all of this is internal. And what I mean by that is like their own doubts, their own fears, their own baggage. Not necessarily being influenced by a tough situation. And in this case, what I mean by situation, it's external influences from other people. So the best advice for them is that if they want to push forward for change and go towards their destiny, or to like get out of their comfort zone, one of the best ways that they can do that is to hold tight to the reason why they're going for this change, to have a clear idea of their intentions so like that they're able to manifest the future that they want, and to get rid of their doubts and fears, because that's negativity that's holding them back, which will also be getting rid of any limiting belief. Like for example with swimming, he was getting a lot of like, one of the things that he was working on this year is getting rid of the fear of thinking big and wanting more in life. And I do feel that this is something that some of them have to do as well, as a way of getting rid of negativity or releasing it in this case. It's like, don't let baggage hold you back, and don't let it weigh you down as well. Anyway, I hope you guys like this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Seems like individually some members are going to be doing well and others are going to be just working through challenges. I don't think any of them is actually going through a rough period. I think as a group they kind of are. But even as a group, it's nothing too crazy, in the sense of like, I'm not seeing any like health issues. I'm not seeing any accidents, which unfortunately have appeared for some other people in other of my videos. I do feel that with them it's just kind of like shifting their mentality and working for change, so like that they can all benefit from it. So regardless, we do have some people that are going to do super well though, and others that, as I mentioned, their challenges are one person is internal, and for a couple other people is more along the lines of like just situations that will make them be like just either cautious or just straight up, I do not want to be involved in them type of vibe. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I hope you find it entertaining. I will see you on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Thank you for all the love and support you have shown the channel. I will leave this here, and love and healing from my part to you, and